All right, what is going on, guys? I am back finally. This video, of course, is going to be a lot different simply because I will not be in front of the camera. I will not be lifting anything of that nature. What I'm here for today is to talk about, I guess you could say, the last 3 weeks of my life. Memphis Raw Nationals, my recap, my takeaways, my critiques of myself, all that kind of good shit. Um, Usually, this is the style video. If you are subscribed, go subscribe to Joy Flex, his YouTube channel. He does similar videos on his page as well. I took his format because I have just been busy running around, trying to figure things out, getting things situated, and honestly, figuring out my next step when it comes to training, what I want to do, and the blueprint that I have for myself over, give or take, the next 6 to 10 months. So with that being said, I'm happy to be back. I wanted to make this video sooner, but like I said, I had a bunch of stuff going on, and I'm already back in the gym on program, training, coaching, stuff like that. So, okay, as far as the results of Raw Nationals, I want to get into that first. So, I weighed in at 107.8 or something like that. So I think that's like 235 ish, 236 ish. When you look at the conversion from kilos to pounds. And in all honesty, as far as meet day, we went 7 for 9. I squatted my comp max again, 628. I benched 175, which is 386, so 5 kilo PR. And then I pulled 300, and I missed my last two attempts on deads. They were both 700 or 317, 5 in kilos. Now, as far as some of the other takeaways that I have from Raw Nationals, there is a clear separation line when it comes to competing and wanting to go out there and lift strong and lifting clean. And this is something that I needed to experience on, I guess you could say, one of the higher or the highest of levels that I've seen thus far. I've been in, I believe, 6 meets now. I don't necessarily remember if it's 5 or 6. But going into Raw Nationals, I traveled a little bit earlier, so I was there from Thursday to Sunday. And in my time just chilling in Memphis, I spent most of my time just getting off my feet and watching the meets, watching the flights and the sessions, and the judging was rough. A lot of people came in under the expectation that they were doing what they needed to do to get white lights, and that was not the case. And the judges made people pay for it. And mind you, I said this in my Instagram story, but I want to make sure I say it here again. Whether the judging is inconsistent, whether the judging is really good, I cannot control that. So I refuse to worry about that when I walk into a meet. My goal from here on out is to be undeniable on any platform I stand on any part of the planet. And that will kind of segue into some of the stuff I want to talk about next, which is controlling the outside variables when you get to a meet. But I'm not done talking about what I was talking about first when it comes to the refs. Of course, everything went smooth on squats and bench. Considering the amount of weight that I lost about 10 pounds in Memphis, whether it be water weight or overall body mass. That is something I realized that cannot happen moving forward when it comes to just traveling and stuff like that, especially with my frame, me being linkier, shit like that. So taking that into consideration moving forward will be very, very important. When I competed last year in November, I was training closer to the weight that I competed at. I also competed in Texas at around 236. So I felt more comfortable there, but I was working on getting heavier over the course of time between Texas and Memphis. And to not have that, I guess, body weight come meet day, it hurt the expectations of what I could lift. But it didn't really hurt the standard of lifts. And that's where I want to get into the separation. For deadlifts, I learned a valuable lesson on deads. Just a technical difficulty I was having on meet day. I didn't necessarily feel weak, but by the time we got around to deads, my legs felt gassed. So I was like, we just got to make do with what we got. That's a big takeaway for me on meet day, because peaking and tapering and doing all the things the correct way does not necessarily mean you will get a guaranteed response from the body that you would like to see on meet day. Sometimes shit just happens. And this is something I'm not, like, this is not something I haven't seen before. Like, I've been playing sports for a long time, so it didn't really, shit on my mentality. Like, I went in there understanding what was, I guess, expected of me to be able to get white lights. And for the last two attempts, there were just some other variables that didn't play into my favor. So, with that being said, I have plenty to do in the off season, plenty of work to get done. I think next I want to talk about lifting clean versus lifting strong, and this is where I've seen like the most surprising shit I've seen from the entire weekend. I saw so many people bomb out at Raw Nationals because of their expectations. Like, if it's strong, it's most likely going to get white lights, and it's like it just wasn't there. It just wasn't there at all. And I think that is something that I will be paying attention to in my training, considering that sometimes, of course, when you're in training, you feel good one day, you have RPE 7, RPE 8, and there's a number in your head that you want to work to for the day, but then your technique falters a little because of the fact that you want to hit this number or that number. I think the golden standard for me is if I can't hit it the way I would hit it in a competition in the gym, I don't necessarily want it anymore. A lot of things had changed for me after that meet, and just understanding what was needed of me daily. So when I get to that competition, I understand what I need to do fully, rather than going in there and learning what I need to do the day I do it. You get what I'm saying? So it was a different experience for sure. But all in all, man, I had a fantastic time. I didn't do too much, like I said, because I needed to compete and I wanted to make sure I was putting myself in the best position. But the amount of steps I took on the day I flew in and during that trip, I guess, were enough to just carve me up when it came to my body weight. I lost a lot of weight. And for real, at first it was eating me up because I'm like, damn, I fucked this money up. But at the same time, afterwards, I was like, this is a great learning point for me, because I've traveled for meets before, but I haven't traveled to too many meets at this body weight. I haven't been 242 for too long, and I plan to be here for some time as I have some space to build on. So I'm going to take full advantage. But knowing that, it just made me realize like there's so much more work to be done. It made me excited to be back in the gym. And I was ready to get right back on my horse the day after the meet. We competed Sunday. I got back in the gym that Monday. And I basically just hit some like chill bench deadlift work, I believe, and I hit some accessories. And then once I got a true gauge of how tired my body really was, I kind of crept it down for the rest of the week. But all in all, man, it really excited me. I know some people may have believed like I was knocked down by it. And mind you, of course, I want to go there and do well. And I want to, hit 9 for 9, 8 for 9, and then have my total be the best it could be for that day. But in the same time, I feel like there's a lot to be said about the person who goes through these things and bounces back from it. And that's the situation I'm in. It wasn't a terrible day, but it wasn't the day that I wanted. And I know my friends, my people who understand me will understand, like, don't hold me to the standard that you saw. Hold me to the standard that I wanted to upkeep when I walked in, what I said I was going to do when I walked in. And I think that's the respectable thing to do for all athletes. If somebody has their own expectations of themselves, you don't hold them to the expectations that you will hold for yourself. You will hold them to the expectations they made for themselves. It just shows a level of respect for whoever that may be. But those were my main takeaways. Memphis was cool. I want to get into some stuff other than lifting. The food there, barbecue, phenomenal. What else? The people there, I ain't gonna lie, I enjoyed it. I think it's because I'm from Philadelphia. I have a different perspective and outlook on things. I wasn't very uncomfortable. I know Memphis is rough. Philly is rough. So I wasn't tripping at all. I enjoyed myself. I met plenty of people just walking down the street, going into supermarkets, talking to people in the supermarket. I thought it was hilarious. So I had a fucking time. But I know a lot of people on Instagram were a little bit more concerned about their safety. I wasn't really concerned at all. If I know what I'm doing, I'll be fine. That's exactly what I told myself, which, growing up in Philly, it's like you gotta have your head on the swivel, regardless of what you do or what you into. You need to be safe at all times. So I wasn't really tripping at all. But it was a great experience for me to be able to go out there, travel, and understand a little bit more. Also, too, it was like my first time really traveling by myself to one of these meets, like a national meet. I went by myself. I met up with my homie Forklift when I got there. But overall, handling the logistics of it all on my own was also a big step too. So that was smooth. But yeah, I'm looking forward to doing all of this again. Like I know I'll look to sharpen my knife again, probably locally, or like in a state meet or regional meet, whatever I can find. Honestly, if I feel prepared enough for it, I'll do so. But I want to get back to the drawing board, man. There's other things that I want to do with my life other than just strictly powerlifting. A lot of those things are related to powerlifting, but I want to, grow coaching and grow and a good team and just have passionate athletes who want to get better and want to be great. And that's something I've really been enjoying. I've been able to. Well, let me backtrack a little bit. Yesterday was the 30th. Today is October 1st as I'm recording this, and I was able to go to handle some of my athletes at a competition done at Danny Campos in Philly, and it was for me a beautiful experience. A lot of the stuff that I've learned from Memphis translated directly into me being a better coach for real. And it meant a lot to me to be able to see that translation right away. And I know those guys appreciated it just as much because I was able to talk them through just like, dealing with like adversity that may come up on meet day and understanding like where your brain needs to be in order to excel even through those moments. And I think that was something that was really, really important for my mental and personal growth for real. Because a lot of those things didn't necessarily concern me before, but you never know the unknown, of course. Like until you get put in that particular situation, it's up in the air whether you'll be able to suffice in those situations. You feel me? So I wanted to make sure I was taking care of them with everything that I learned, and it translated. Those guys had fun. We had a ball. We had a 9 for 9, a 7 for 9, and a 6 for 9, and the mindset got us through the day. There were some meet PRs, there were some PR matches, and it just made me realize how far I've come as an athlete and a coach. But like I said, man, I'm looking forward to getting back to training. I'm looking forward to getting back into the gym. I'm already in the fucking gym, so there's that. But I'm just excited for the future. We have events coming up that I'm planning, merch, apparel stuff that I want to get into, and yeah, honestly, I'm just excited. And last thing I want to end on, which is very important as well, because I know a lot of people around this time dealing with like seasonal anxiety and depression. Take some time to let yourself heal from whatever it is that's bothering you. Let yourself rest. Let your mind calm itself. Do whatever you need to feel that homeostasis. You feel me? Based off the dates and stuff for Raw Nationals, I knew I was going to come back to a pending, not a pending doom, but just a pending situation that I knew I would have to deal with effectively in order to be better as a human being, a man, a coach, an athlete. My older brother passed away, I think about close to 10 years ago, from September 23rd, or not September 23rd, I'm sorry. That was his birthday, forgive me. I messed that up, I'm a little tired. But we used his birthday as a memorial, and I knew it was something that I was going to have to deal with coming back from Raw Nationals. And I knew before I left, like, in order to be the best version of Jeff, I had to make sure I deal with it appropriately. And this is something a lot of people don't talk about. This is something people deal with every single day. Everybody's fighting those battles they don't talk about, and I think it's important to bring light to those things. Because the better you deal with them emotionally, the better your productivity will be throughout those moments. And I think that's something that we can translate to meet day, and of course something that we can use in our everyday lives. Life is not perfect. Things happen. Some of the best athletes have the craziest of variables, and they still get it done through their consistency and just their mindset. So I think it's important for me to say it out loud. But it was rough. It was hard. I didn't want to talk about it at first, and then I realized like I need a emotional release. Shout out to all my homies that I was able to talk to about it and just get it off my chest with, because it was hard. It was still rough. It's still rough to this day. Considering how long ago it happened, it's been like a solid 10 years, and I still feel like it happened yesterday. But honestly, I want to make sure I say that out loud, just because I know there are some people who are going through things, and like I said, they don't talk about them. But other than that, man, this video is a little bit longer than I expected. I thought I was going to be around a 12-minute mark. We're closer to 15. Uh, there's a chance that I'll be doing more of these in the future, considering my focus right now is just coaching and training and getting the other things under my belt out into the open, into the public, so we can start more projects. But I do enjoy making content, whichever way it may be. And if this has to be the way I make content right now, I am perfectly okay with that. It's imperfect, it's me though, so I'll fucking with that. And I appreciate whoever took the time to listen and hear out my thoughts and stuff like that. Uh, yeah. If you like what you're hearing thus far, please like, comment, share, subscribe. Maybe I'll be on here talking more depending on the reaction I get. But yeah, I'll catch up with y'all. Holla.